so stop me and let me know. I kind of talk fast.
Well, if we toggle to the radar lock, how do we know? Is it a visual on the...
Yeah, I'll show you your radar slide in a couple slides, and I'll show you. It kind of brings it in. But yeah, good question. Radio. You guys all have radio transmissions, or communications rather. Your push-to-talk button is on your left-hand throttle. It's the only button we're going to use on our throttle. Probably the most important one, because we can't talk to you, we can't answer any questions you might have. Because you guys remember everything in this classroom, right? Cool, all right. You guys have any questions, and we encourage that the entire time. Your controller is Bobby, he's really good and patient, so if you have any questions, we can help you guys out at any point today. We also can separate you guys on different channels. If you guys just want to talk with just your teammate, we can do that too. So that's your radio button. Works like a walkie-talkie, by the way. Hold it down to transmit, let go when you guys are done. Now, weapons and radar, the next two slides coincide. I'll answer your question for you. Your weapons you guys are armed with today are 8 Sidewinder missiles, a heat-seeking missile. You guys have your gun right there as a backup. That's why it's number 2. The reason why it's number 2 is you got to get really, really close to use that weapon effectively. It's hard to use, to be honest with you guys. You got to get really close, and you have to aim ahead of the airplane to actually have the bullets run in, or have the airplane run into your bullets. So that's why it's a backup weapon. It's going to be unlimited today. We call it our spray and pray feature. So it's actually, when you fire at that rate of fire right here at 6,000 rounds per minute, real life you've only got 500 bullets. That's about 10 seconds of trigger pull. So incredible discipline with the trigger. So today, spray and pray. 8 missiles, 4 per wing. When you want to engage with your missiles, you got to activate them. Push this button to your left. What you guys are going to hear is a noise. I'll play for you guys right now. This noise is called tone. You wait for the tone to change to tell you when the missile is ready to fire. So here you go. Click your missiles on. That guy's kind of a buzzing, staticky sound, right? That's the little seeker head on the front of that missile right there looking for a heat source. Now, when you pull up behind somebody, the missile's going to lock on automatically. It sounds like that. So you're going to hear the RPMs change from buzzing to solid. That's your cue to fire that missile right there. There's nothing visual about missile lock. It's all an audio tone when you're using Sidewinder missiles. So basically, all you got to do is find out where the guy is with your radar, track him, and pull up behind him within a short distance of 2 to 3 nautical miles. You guys will hear the tone change. That's all you're waiting for, so you guys can fire that missile. So, in theory, pretty easy to use. The tricky part is trying to find somebody and getting in behind them today. So listen for that tone when you fire the missile. Any questions on that? Pretty good. So, remember that solid tone? You're going to hear the RPMs pick up. Once they spike, take that shot right there. It usually means you got the guy right in front of you too, by the way. Now here's your radar really quick. Now radar is a full circle. I'll show you guys really quickly what it looks like. You guys have a couple different colors of bandits or targets out there. The key thing is you guys are in the middle, but what you guys notice about that is there's nothing in the middle that tells you guys that's where you are. In a fighter jet, you guys can't see yourself on your own radar. But it is a bird's eye view around your plane, so for basic quick orientation, that's you guys in the middle right there. So what's on top, or 12 o'clock is what's up front. Down here, 6 o'clock is what's behind you guys, left side, right side. The first circle is a 5-mile distance, outer one's a 10-mile radius. So this little zone up here on the top is what you guys can lock onto. What's behind you guys, of course, could be threatening right there. Different colors. Basically, blue is friendly, red is a bad guy. When you want to lock onto somebody, anybody in that top field you guys can lock onto, take the missile select button, remember pushing forward is radar lock. Tap it forward, you guys are going to see somebody light up yellow. That's the guy you're now targeting with your radar. So now, you can't fire yet because you just have radar lock. The radar lock and missile lock are a little different. What you're doing is trying to find somebody here. So look at your radar, take your target. Usually you guys want to get the closest target too, by the way. So you got that guy is usually the best bet. Triangle shape tells you which way they're going. Any questions so far? Pretty good. Okay, cool. So what happens is this happens pretty fast. It kind of does this really quickly. Then look at your HUD. What you guys are looking for on your HUD is this right there, a little red box. Now this is where you can tell exactly where he's going to be in the air. There's what it looks like on your radar over there. So this guy's a little bit off to your right. What you're looking for right here, more importantly, is the needle. That's what this slide depicts. The needle pops up off your crosshair and points to wherever the target's going to be in relation to your nose. So back again, in the dogfight, your nose is your most important icon right there. So basically, you want to turn to the right and point your nose at the target, right? What you guys can see, this is your 90% of the time. This is what you're going to see as soon as you lock onto a target. So step 1, you want to look back at the radar, pick whichever target you want. Now this button's a toggle switch, so you guys can hit it up again if you guys want to change targets at any time. So if you lock onto a far target by any chance, by accident, just click it again until you guys get to close your target. That way you guys have less time between the kill. Then you guys will look at your crosshair once you lock on, because you're looking for that red box right there. Now, if that red box is way off to your right or high or low and you can't see it, your needle is your only indication to find out where the guy is. So when you follow that needle, it takes you right to your target. In this case, snap your plane to the right, pull back on the stick, right-hand turn, get your nose back on the target box, here's that tone, take that shot right there. Watch the missile connect, and once you guys got a kill, you'll see the smoke, and you guys will see pieces, and a pretty good bet he's not going to come back and get you. At least for another 6 more seconds there. So any questions on that step from step 1 to step Z? Any questions? Pretty good. Basically, you lock the guy up, track him down until you guys get close enough to hear that tone, and take that shot. Try to track your missile, watch it hit, that way you guys can confirm your kill, then you guys can peel off and find another target there. Cool? Guns, you got to get really close. Like I said before, gun is your backup weapon. It's hard to teach with a still image, but this funnel and that crosshair are what make up your gun sight. When you guys actually are flying with the guy and turning with him and trying to shoot him, you got to position the crosshair ahead of his flight path, and hopefully fit his flight path in this funnel as the funnel is going to stretch out and follow your nose. Kind of tricky to explain. When you guys get up in the air, give it a shot, pun intended, and practice moving the stick around because you'll see how it's going to flow and follow your nose. Basic principle is if he's bigger, you fit him up closer to your crosshair. You don't have to lead him as less. Smaller, vice versa. Any questions on that real quick? Pretty good? All right, cool. Back to the end of my briefing, takeoff and landing. Takeoff is pretty simple. So when you guys take off, here's the nuts and bolts of it. Number one, wait for clearance. We'll get you guys up in the air one by one. We'll actually do a radio check first. Once you guys are clear to take off, full power. You're watching the airspeed climb. You guys are going straight down the middle of that runway. And at 180 knots, you want to pull up and get your nose roughly about 15 or so degrees nose up in the air. As you guys pull, you're going to see little green lines that say 5, 10, 15, all the way to 90. So about 15 or 20 degrees nose up, you guys are good. And again, you guys have practice time. Practice flying the aircraft. On the flip side, you guys have landings, and your landing principles are tricky with this aircraft. This is why we always ask for these guys in flight time, because landing actually seems a little bit different than what you might think. But nonetheless, pretty easy if you guys just use very small control inputs. Main thing is, watch your airspeed. Both takeoff and landing, we're landing at 180, and takeoff is 180. So kind of landing pretty fast. You have to use that throttle, manipulate it the whole way down. And roughly what you're watching is your flight path marker right there, that little green guy. Little green airplane again, he tells you exactly where you guys are going. So point that guy roughly at the beginning of the runway, that's where you guys are heading. If it starts to fall, what's happening is your airspeed is starting to drop pretty quick. Give it some power, that guy will come right back up. So landing, you have to use a very little control inputs. Just give a little bit of yaw on this too as well, a little auto coordination. But you're basically using your power to keep that flight path marker where it's going to be. Just adjust this guy to steer left or right if you need to right there. Very small corrections. All goes well, you guys are aiming for the beginning of the runway right there. If you guys aim down there, of course, you guys will fly with the entire thing, so watch out for that. You each get a couple chances to land, so if you guys crash or wreck, don't worry about it. We'll put you guys right back in. You guys know what flaring is? Flaring is pulling back at the last second. You don't want to flare this aircraft too much at all. The reason is, here's an actual picture of one landing. That's where your tail is. Your tail is about 1.5 feet or 2 feet off the deck at most. You pull back farther than 12 degrees nose up, that guy is scraping, or you could hit the tail first before you hit the rubber of the wheels right there. So very little flaring at all. If anything, you actually want to get down just before the ground and push the right stick forward and give a little bit of nudge on the power to kind of flatten your descent out. Again, that's the tricky part, is getting on the deck. Think of trying to skip a stone off water. You just barely skip it. That's kind of how you have to land the F-16. So watch the flight path marker, watch the speed, and once you guys go on the deck, you guys are going to grab your wheel brakes right there. It's a little pinky trigger. Last button will go over. My Delta and my Echo missions, you guys will continue on your nighttime approach. Same exact approach as it was on Airbase. This is Korea, by the way. Your light pattern looks like that. You guys got a green in front, right at the end, and white lights on the edge right there for the runway. Same things apply to that one. Last one for my Echoes and Deltas is the aircraft carrier. And this one, you guys will actually have to land on a moving object, which is very tough. Roughly, the speed and ROS are a little bit different, but roughly the same. You want to aim just a little bit above the deck. You want to air on the high side. You guys can aim down here or down there. I don't have to tell you, it's a pretty fast stop right there, right? The Master Chief in the back of the boat with the engine shop's going to be a little upset. Otherwise, keep that guy where you want to go. Watch your speed. And this is what you guys are aiming for. 2 white lines, and roughly middle of the deck is what you guys want to aim for. That's where you guys want to touch down. Now, the carrier typically is a 45 by 85 foot box, roughly, just set it down in. You have a tail hook, so your tail hook's going to catch one of the 4 wires. If you guys catch any one of the wires, that's a good landing. Typically in the Navy, the 3rd wire is the best one. Otherwise, once you get to here, you don't want to flare at all in a carrier approach. Just let it come down and catch your wire. That's all you guys have to do. That's the last landing for my other guys. Real quick, anybody got any issues climbing a 4 to 5 step ladder? Recent knee injuries at all? Didn't think so. We just have to ask. Any questions? You guys have been good. You guys have been quiet. So you must have retained everything.
And the switch left is which?
Left is weapons on. And when you get in the cockpit really quick, we'll give you guys a quick orientation. When you click it, you're going to hear an audio, and you'll see the visual thing on your dashboard to let you guys know it's on. So yeah, good question. That's the main button you're going to use in the dogfight too, by the way, this guy. I used it a lot today. Cool? You guys ready to go fly? All right. You guys can set those control sticks down. Yours are already in the cockpit.